Oh, good. Supposed to be two, I think. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hi, how was
How are you?
everybody?
All right.
Fine.
How much as Welshman goes, international breaks don't get better than that, do they?
No, fantastic. Lads got the job done. That was the order of the day. Fantastic performance by the players and Chris and his team. So yeah, everybody be looking forward to watching them in France next year.
I mean, you sat in that chair and you got to the playoffs. I mean, you know how much that country was thirsty to get to international.
Yeah, well, there's been plenty of near misses over the years. I mean, we had 50 years of trying, so never quite managed it up until this moment. So yeah, it's great for Welsh football, great for the nation as well. There's a real buzz about sports in the country at the moment. So I think everybody's riding the crest of that wave.
And looking in from the outside, is it the togetherness that they talk about that's made the difference?
Yeah, well, that's always been prevalent in Welsh teams. In fairness, over the years, that nationalistic edge that you get when you meet up with your squad mates, and that's always been evident in all teams. But I think this group of players obviously have had a lot of games, a lot of experience together, and they're not a team that doesn't understand what's required, and they've got a lot of guys that playing at a good level. They've got a genuine world-class player in Gareth Bale as well, who's made a huge difference in almost every game he's played in the campaign. So that all helps and contributes to qualification.
And their ranking suggests they can do more than just turn up in France.
Well, yeah, there was always that feeling that the hard bit was always going to be qualifying, and that was always the case in the past. And there was always a feeling, well, if we actually did get there, we'd actually surprise people. And I think that's still the case, more so now, given the performance in the qualification group and how well they actually did. So a lot of teams will be hoping that they don't face Wales in those opening stages, because it's not going to be easy for any team going up against the Welsh sides.
Part of your job is hoping that the international break allows you to get players through. I think we saw Ryan Shaw crossing the under-21s this afternoon. What's the state of play there?
Yeah, he's coming back. He had 45 minutes with the under-21s against Port Vale a week or so ago. Today was another step up for him, wanting to get some more minutes. Completed 90, which is his first since the operation, which is good. Initial idea was to give him 66, 65, 70 odd minutes today, but he felt good, so we left him on and he came through it, so that's encouraging. But he probably needs a couple more games before he's in consideration. He's only really had most of it because of the international break, because everybody's been away. He hasn't had too many sessions with the senior group over the last couple of weeks, so he's probably only had one with everybody back, so he'll need a couple of weeks, I'm sure.
Does the performance in the last 3 games, the 2 wins in the Premier League, allow you to be perhaps more patient than you
Maybe so, yeah, because the lads are playing well at the moment, and we're getting positive results, so it's a case of making sure Ryan's ready to come back, and when he does come back, he's able to hit the ground running, and he'll be at the level that he was before the injuries. So the fact that the guys are doing okay enables me to think along those lines, but we'll see. He's progressing well. We're really pleased where he is at the moment, so key now is that he doesn't get any adverse reactions to playing and training, which he hasn't had up to this point, so he's progressing well.
Was the only negative of the break the fact that you kind of break the momentum up?
Yeah, well, you've heard me many times in this room talk about the frustration of the international breaks and the periods away. Obviously, everybody does this job differently, and preparing for international games is a little bit different from preparing for league games week in, week out. So the focus can be a little bit different, and the focus of the training shifts to solely a one-off game, and sometimes you make different decisions as a manager than you would as an international manager, as I well know myself. So as I said, everybody does this job different. Some prepare in one way, but it's once you get that rhythm of work at club level, the frustration is that you just start to get a little bit of momentum in your play, and the quality of the work you're producing on a daily basis, and then it can be disruptive when they go for for 10, 12 days away with the international group, where they do different work and different intensity of work. So that's been a little bit of frustration for everybody, not just ourselves. But thankfully we went into the last break in good heart. Haven't been beaten for 4 games now, so that's encouraging for us.
Did you consider the gelling in the process? We spoke to Zernan Shaqiri in the last hour or so. He said he felt as though the whole thing was coming together a bit inevitably.
Yeah, it was always going to take time. We understood that. That's a number of players coming into the group, new to the group. Obviously, senior players had left as well. So there was going to be a period of transition, but we're coming together now. We've all felt that. We feel the quality in the group is good. So we're encouraged, obviously, with the last few performances and more importantly the results, which have settled everybody down, and we're in good heart and looking forward to the game on Monday now.
A lot of people saying very nice things about your goalkeeper. That just proves that's what you knew and work with on a daily basis.
Yeah, he's an outstanding young keeper. Everybody has recognised that. He's been a number one, obviously, at clubs at a lower level, but hasn't been a named number one at Premier League level up until this point. But he's taken that in his stride, like he has done with almost every step up that he's made throughout his still very young career. So his quality of performance is higher at the moment, and fully deserved to get his debut, in my view, and didn't have a great deal to do, but that's a consequence of the opposition maybe that he's up against. But we all feel that he's got a long career both with us and England at international level, because he's that good.
Is his maturity surprising, bearing in mind his age?
Well, that's one of his strengths, I think. As a young keeper, I think sometimes young keepers can be a little bit frenetic, and they want to be involved in everything, but his calmness, and that's part of the maturity that he shows in his personality. I think that helps him as a young keeper, and I think he makes considered judgments, and his decision making is one of his strengths. So he's got a lot of the attributes, if not every one of the attributes you need as a keeper to have a good career. He's going to progress. He's got a good goalkeeping group to work with on a daily basis as well, which is pushing him, which is what he needs. And we feel sure that he'll continue to progress in the same manner.
And the key thing is you've got a long-term deal as well.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't sure in the summer whether or not we could keep Asmir Begovic, who was fantastic for us, but in the end there was an opportunity for him, and I think initially probably what would have happened was that if Asmir had stayed, we probably looked to have got Jack out on loan for another 12 months just to help his development. But as it was, when it became clear that Asmir was leaving, then I had no qualms whatsoever about making Jack my number one, because he's that good.
Just thoughts on Swansea? I mean, you went into the break with momentum. They're looking for momentum.
Yeah, they haven't won of late, but on their day they're an accomplished Premier League side, and have been for a number of years now. And our games against them certainly in Wales have been difficult for us, and not been easy. Didn't play particularly well last year against them in the corresponding fixtures, so we're looking to improve on that. Looking back, that's probably stopped us being in a position above them come the end of the season, which on reflection we look back on that game and our performance on the day with a little bit of regret, because we didn't really perform. But we're in good heart. I think that's important when you go to places like Swansea, who are very strong at home ordinarily. We just got to make sure we perform as we can, and then we'll cause them problems, I'm sure.
Any other injuries? Is Shea given?
Shay's back with the group. He's working with the physios. He hasn't joined in. He's a little bit more comfortable with the injury, which just trying to get to the bottom of it. We think there might have been a little bit of bone flaking away, which caused the initial problem, but we think there's a possibility they may well settle down on its own accord, and then we'll take it from there. But yeah, apart from that, Mamdiouf, obviously he's absent compassionate leave. The likelihood is that he'll come back early next week, but he'll miss the game on Monday.
Mark, just going back to the matches with Swansea last season, obviously there was a little bit of a flare-up between yourself and Gary Monk after the game here earlier in the season. A few things were said after the
between us both. I don't think it was between us both, but
things were said post-match
right.
by yourself and Gary. I was just wondering how things sort of went in that game towards the end of the season. Did you shake hands afterwards? Is everything okay between the two of you now?
Yeah, well, there was an issue anyway. There was disagreement possibly on the penalty decision. I think Gary was more aggrieved with the referee than he was with me. So it was what it was. Yeah, we've had a game in the meantime, and yeah, no problem. Met after the game, had a drink, and came home. So don't recall there was any ill feeling after the game.
So your thoughts on him at the moment? I mean, like, he's a guy that you've known for a long time from back at Southampton, and obviously he's doing a really great job with Swansea. I mean, I'm sure that's all you kind of think about when you think about Gary Monk.
Yeah, he's done fantastic. He's had a good club. Club is stability, not unlike myself here. And I think that's really important. Certainly when you're the manager of that club, it's reassuring that you have that stability in terms of the leadership and the ownership of the club, and I think that enables you just to get on with your job and do what you're employed to do. And he's taken to the role really very, very quickly. It's I think it's probably helped his standing in the club, as we know he's been there a long time, been the captain of the club for a long time, so he's obviously well thought of even before he was given the opportunity. But there's a big difference between being a senior player and then having to tell fellow senior players of what to do when you take on the role of the manager, and he seems to have made that transition very, very comfortably, so that's credit to him.
Just finally on the injuries as well, how's Mark Wilson at the moment?
Mark's fine. He went away with Ireland, didn't play, not through the injury. He's come back. He's played today. He's had 45 minutes himself, just because he needs a little bit of game time. He's fine. He's okay. So he's not injured. So he's available for selection.
And Shaqiri's declared himself fit. He's fit as far as you're concerned.
Yeah, Shaq trained today. It was only a light session for the ones that weren't playing in the games. Obviously, he's had game time, so there was a necessity to put him in a game situation. So he's come back. Like I said, he only had a light session, but we don't anticipate that it'll be a problem. We fully anticipate that he'll train Saturday and Sunday leading into the game.
Is Banju available to?
No, I just said he's likely to come back early next week, but he missed the game, unfortunately.
This week there was a report published about the costings of football for supporters, saying Stoke City actually come out very well from this. It's the cheapest season ticket in the Premier League. Compared to this, sort of like shows very close affinity between supporters and the club. How does this compare with other clubs that you've worked for? Do you feel that the club are working much better with supporters?
Yeah, I think all clubs have been involved in, all do fantastic work for community, certainly, and sometimes the pricing of tickets and the cost of actually attending games is going to be affected by maybe the area and other issues over and above just the footballing issues. But from my experience with this club, I think they go out to really try and work hard to make sure that first and foremost the stadium is full, and that means that there will always be an understanding of how tickets will always be price sensitive, and they need to get that right. If they get that wrong, then we won't get full stadiums, because people unfortunately cannot afford to come in and week out. But at the moment it seems like the product on show and what we're producing enables people to feel that we're worth the money, maybe, to come and see us, and that's encouraging. But we never take for granted the cost that it imposes on people to continue to come and watch us and support us week in, week out. So I think this club obviously has that understanding and probably does it better than most clubs, I would think. Okay.
Thanks,